Hey friends, I'm Jackson Emmer, and today I have a totally new, different kind of video for you. I've never made this kind of video before. It's all about strings, old strings versus new strings. I have an old Santa Cruz guitar here with old dusty strings on it, and the Santa Cruz Guitar Company sent me some new sets of their custom strings, and I'm going to try them out on this old Santa Cruz guitar. So stay tuned, we're going to see the difference between old strings and new strings. Okay, you're about to hear a Santa Cruz vintage jumbo model. That's a VJ model from about 20 years ago. I borrowed this from my friend McCoy, and it has old, dead Monel style strings on there. That's like the nickel style, kind of a vintage style string. I think it sounds awesome, actually. But you will hear the difference between these and the new ones. And also, I'm using an Edwina ear trumpet mic about 9 inches from the sound hole, a little bit off axis. And I put it there because, to my ear, that's the truest representation of this guitar's voice that I was able to get through a mic. So here we go. Old strings. Now the Santa Cruz guitar has a new set of Santa Cruz strings on it. I'm sitting in the same spot with the same mic, same pick, same room. It's only 5 or 10 minutes since the last clip. Here we go. So friends, those are the new Santa Cruz guitar strings on an old Santa Cruz guitar. I will tell you what I think of the strings and of old strings versus new strings. Old strings have a charm to them. Old strings have a muddiness to them, like a sort of thing that glues the sound of the guitar together. They're less clear, and especially those old strings that we had on there were Monel strings. So those are even more a little muddy sounding to my ear. And I think that's a really nice tone depending on what you're going for. I used that sound on a record I just did. It'll be out this summer. But that's a sound that I loved, and that's what I needed on that song. And so that's why I sought out this guitar and used it. When I put on the new strings, there are some benefits. In your hand, a new string is very springy. It has some life. It's going to have some zing and some cut that the old strings won't. It'll sit in the mix with a little bit of sparkle. And the same is true if you're playing live or with a band. Like it cuts and it has some life to it that an old string won't. It has a clarity that an old string won't. And that can be a pro or a con. I like strings about a week after they've broken in to about 4 or 6 months of use. I liked strings to stay on and get really dead and funky. Past that, though, it depends on how much you're playing, but past that, I find that the strings lose their integrity and their ability to hold a tune as well. And since I'm a gigging working musician, I need to get in tune fast and play the next song so that people, enjoy the show. So as much as I love to play with really dead, year or 2-year-old strings, you got to change them every once in a while. And anyway, I think these new Santa Cruz strings sound good. I'd gig with them. They're cool. They're still getting broken in. I put them on 30 seconds ago. Let me know what you think. Old strings versus new strings. How they sound. What do you think of the sound of this guitar? See you in the comments and see you next time.